the coaching process.
Everyone thinks Chobra just went back to North America, but no, he got eaten by the Minotaur. Spoiler
and
alert.
any Chobra that you see in the future is actually just a robot Chobra.
It's Robo Chobra. You thought that we were just modulating his voice when they were doing the intros for the teams during the broadcast. No, Robo Chobra is a real robot. That's a hard thing to say. Robo Chobra is a real robot? That's a tongue twister.
And real Chobra got eaten by a Minotaur.
Yeah, died a long time ago, guys. Sorry. Robo Chobra, if you're watching this, you'll need to update your software next month. So make sure you set some time aside for that. Battery fully charged and all. All right, so picks and bans for game number 2. Samsung versus NaJin. Zed and Gragas banned out by Samsung. Callista and Rice banned out by NaJin. Not going to let either one of those through. There's a Vayne ban against OQ on NaJin.
Really mixing it up. Alistair going to be banned. So they got 2 of their bans from the last game banned out by
Sivir first pick. Well,
NaJin this time around.
Alistar banned by NaJin as well. What do you think about this Sivir first pick? I feel like it gives a lot of very strong things to NaJin.
It does, and we did see Fury lose lane pretty hard. Of course, again, there were all these extenuating factors in the early game that sort of caused that to happen, but Samsung has shown, and if we look back to their games against SKT, there were Sivir bans. Samsung loves Sivir because they love the speed, because they run pick comps a lot of the time. So, that Sivir near and dear to their hearts right now. Eve is certainly capable of playing a wide range of junglers, so you don't really need to prioritize that for him, especially when he tends to like ones that aren't really in meta right now, like Nidalee.
Right. And Hecarim and Rek'Sai are pretty strong pickups against Samsung already. I mean, do you really want to run towards the enemy team when they've got a Hecarim coming right at you? Probably not as much.
Well, it depends on if you can take somebody out before that Hecarim arrives, really, and a LeBlanc here for Crown. I mean, without a LeBlanc ban this game and with Goong on the enemy team, I feel you kind of have to take this right now.
You are quite obligated with a player like Goong on the other side. Yeah. Or you just take Victor and let him have it.
Dangerous.
Could go for Zed again, actually. Yeah, do you just go for Zed again here? Or they can wait till the very end to feel it out. Oh, you don't, because he's banned.
Do you go for the LeBlanc, though? Should still be a safe pick against the Victor. He doesn't have a lot of recourse. Now, he could try and put down a gravity field on your distortion, but that's going to be kind of tricky because gravity field doesn't have a particularly long range. And
Lucian.
Yeah.
And go for your support here. Just pick the bot lane. I would say Bard.
It's a really early Hecarim for Duke. Of course, that is a preferential champion for Kuve, but again, there is risk in picking that Gnar. But that said, NaJin has actually just flaunted this Hecarim at times. Even when the Gnar is up, Duke has been happy to play into it. It can be a challenge with a Frozen Mallet coming through onto the Gnar. You do certainly run a risk. And the NaJin pick, of course, Nautilus and the Lucian. They want that Lucian versus Sivir matchup one more time.
Well, the Rammus pick would be okay, but I don't think we're going to see it. Or the Volibear. But I'm really liking what NaJin's putting together against Samsung here. A lot of ways to get in onto that Victor, and the Sivir as well, too. And what will Samsung settle on after they cycle through all the troll picks they can find? Maokai wouldn't be a bad choice at all for the top lane. Kuve has had some pretty good games on Maokai in the past. I don't know about this Nunu, though.
The Nunu doesn't offer a lot of synergy,
yeah.
But one thing Samsung did very early on in this season was have Eve play Nunu and just walk into Fury's lane, Blood Boil, and then auto turret. So if they want a lane swap, Samsung did like to run fast push styles of play with a lot of junglers just showing in the lane. Fury just waltzes in, and Eve waltzes in, Fury pushes the wave, gets the Blood Boil, Eve walks up to the tower, starts autoing it, they win the tower trade faster, and then they just cycle through and take down the outer turret. So Samsung definitely going to be trying to lane swap right here.
Well, I think there's absolutely nothing holding you back from going with this LeBlanc. It's got a couple good options, but I like the LeBlanc overall, I think. Cassiopeia, though. Okay, well, it's a strong pickup. It's just not a Goon-style champion. And like we said, on champions like Cassiopeia, like the Victor, he's done okay, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see if he does okay this game.
He was shaky on Cassio in his first game, looked pretty good in his second one. It's time for try number 3 here on the half-snake lady.
Upgrade it from pretty good to great.
Yeah, still not. They're really dependent on Duke for the engage with this composition. Samsung, they've got some good zoning for the Victor with the Maokai and the Nunu, and of course the Thresh box as well. So Crown and Fury should be pretty safe in these team fights. Rek'Sai will have a hard time getting into the back line. It's a lot dependent on Duke's flanks right here.
You know why Goong's Cassiopeia will only be played in games with Lucian? Why? Because his Anaconda don't want none unless you got guns, hon.
God.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so
you should
sorry.
apologize
No,
for that.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all.
Apologize to our viewers, Doa.
I'm sorry, viewers. NaJin versus Samsung. We'll see if they can get the 2-0. It was pretty one-sided in game number 1. If the game does not begin with Cuvée dying immediately, I think Samsung will have a better chance.
Truer words were never spoken.
That's right. Well, it's time, guys. Game number 2. Can NaJin get the 2-0? Or will Samsung tie it up? Time to get in the game and find out. Welcome once again to Summoner's Rift, a very serious place where we never joke around. Samsung versus NaJin. And Crown's going to give this Victor another try. He doesn't need to deal with the Zed this time, but
Crown did really well on the Victor last game. When you consider the circumstances, he did output a lot of damage in those fights. He tried his best. He didn't die too much. He held his ground relatively well. And without some very unfortunate circumstances holding him back in this game, he may be able to do the same thing. So, of course, will we see the lane swap? You'd assume that Fury and Wraith want to do that just based on how Samsung has played this Nunu previously. It is less about the jungle denial, the counter jungling, and more about the fast pushing. So you don't expect to see that same kind of Bengi SK Telecom Nunu. Expect this Nunu to be showing a lot more on the map and be wanting to go into lanes, but looks like we may not get that lane swap, so perhaps we will see the counter jungling instead.
Perhaps.
I mean, I think they knew where that Hecarim was. They should have seen him in the Tri-Brush ward. And we are just going to get standard lanes. Yeah, they definitely know what's going on.
All right.
But it's going to be too late. And there is Nunu bot. I have never actually heard Korean Nunu bot before.
Well, we're in for a treat, aren't we?
Don't you love it when Riot makes skins that are kind of meme-specific to a certain language, like English, and that Nunu video, that Nunu bot video that just make no sense in Korean? Well, regardless, Fury and Wraith actually taking the Krugs right there.
Oh, okay, so just trying to get a little bit of an XP boost early on.
Yeah, so this is how this is going to be their answer to the laning phase, is get level 2 faster and have that experience edge. And that's what they're going to get right after they take out this wave. Should be one more?
Yes. You are correct.
I win.
What do you win?
I don't know.
Oh.
What did you get me? What's my prize?
I didn't know you were going to compete in anything today. I'm sorry. You win Cloud Templar's baby. It turned 100 days old today. Congratulations.
I don't want that at all.
Oh, well, then sorry. I guess you're just going to have to go with no prize.
I'm not some sort of fairy tale monster that wants his firstborn child. Jeez.
Monty's still skinned. Oh man, I feel like there's some sort of like action comedy in there where like we have to take care of Cloud Templar's baby.
That would be
to, like, fight
disastrous.
crime at the same time. Hey, I'm the oldest out of 8 kids, man. I've taken care of some babies.
I'm glad to hear it. Well, watch here, looking for a bit of action, but Fury's hiding in the darkness right now, and
not anymore.
Just Watch. Oh wow, Watch is really committing to this.
Oh, they're going to grab Fury using the bait. There's the lantern. They're going to pull Pure in. Watch coming through the wall. Are they going to be able to get the kill? Wow, Fury, a lot of trouble here. Manages to get away though.
Lots of summoners burned, however.
Yeah.
2 on Fury just to get out of that situation. Fury thinking they were scrapping with only 2 of them there, not really respecting the fact that Watch could have come in behind them like that. Hugging close to the wall, but you know, they trade one. They get a summoner, they get an ignite out of him. Still a good gank, and that's going to turn the tides in favor of OQ again. And remember, OQ is a very good laner. When you give him the opportunity to get a big lead on you, he can really run away with the game, like we saw last time. That massive gulf in CS that opened up between OQ and Fury in this very same matchup.
Yeah, he knows how to. I mean, when your opponent has no summoners, when those go down, your positioning in lane changes, your kind of demeanor in lane changes, and OQ's very good at using that to punish.
Well, Eve does go get some counter jungling done at the very least. So he takes a little bit of something. Now he's going to go for that fast Sightstone and get the heavy warding in. So perhaps some members of his team can play a little bit more aggressively. Kube doing very well on the top side so far. A large CS advantage for him.
Yeah, interestingly enough. Oh, Goon getting poked a bit by Crown as well. This one could be a bit closer. Now Watch finds Eve while Eve just warding and walking away.
Like you do with Nunu.
Yep.
Walk up to somebody, auto them, snowball them, drop a ward, peace out.
Nunu bot laugh as you walk away. And Watch getting a little bit of his own jungling done. We'll see if he tries to make another play in bot lane now that Fury's flash and heal are gone. There are wards, so it would be tough. Although he could go through Dragon Pit and come in from behind that way.
Yeah, they're not going to be playing up right now, though. They know that this Rek'Sai was just on that bottom side of the map, and they really don't want to give up that first blood right here, considering that Samsung has edged their way up to a slight gold lead here, at least in the top side, and Crown is happily farming under his tower right now. Eve will take a peek on the bottom side. Does have a Raptor buff. He's going to know there are no wards there. He's trying to clear a little bit. He's going to find that one in the river and take it out. Yeah.
Well, OQ and Pure, of course, spot all this, and so they won't be under any sort of danger, really. Yeah, and you know, even though Duke is down a bit in CS, you have to imagine that a player like Duke is going to be able to find a way to come back.
Well, it's just hard early for Hecarim, too, because you have to walk into this Maokai's range, and then you get hit by the Arcane Smash and the Twisted Advance, and like this.
Yep.
Exactly like this. And there's
it's
not very favorable trading for Hecarim until he can get something like a Sheen so that he can actually use that quick cooldown on the Rampage to get a couple of Sheen procs in.
True enough. In the meantime, things pretty even across lanes. Down at the bottom, we do have dead even, actually, in CS right now. Well, it will be as soon as Fury gets one. Nope, nope, no. Oh, they grab Pure. But that's about it.
Yep, just a little test on the hook right there with Eve recalling. There wasn't going to be any kind of serious action in the bottom side.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
I know. It's been a quiet series.
Well, that said, with the Nunu, we can't really expect a whole lot out of Samsung this game. They are the ones who are going to be playing more passively early.
Yeah. Just
given their laning situation and looking to break out during a mid-game fight with this comp that they've got, using that Sivir. Meanwhile, NaJin, they're going to want to scale here. They got to get items on the Hecarim before he becomes useful. They have to make sure that the tier gets enough stacks on it for Goon. The only person really able to do a whole lot of work early on here is the Lucian.
Yeah, more or less. A lot of gold to be spent on both sides. And we'll see what everybody comes back with. Mobility boots for Wraith already, of course. Not a big surprise there. But I wonder, when it comes to like the early dragon fights, who's going to kind of have the edge there?
It should be Samsung, just because of the combination of the tier and the build time for that Trinity Force on the Heck Rim.
That's true.
Maokai going to be much more immediately useful. So Samsung should have an advantage, and they should be able to close very quickly and easily with a combination of a Glory and the Sivir ultimate. So they should be going for right now, but OQ just sticking around.
They're both trying to trick the other one into thinking that they went back.
Like, aha! I will be the one who pushes it into tower.
Oh, Fury taking some poke.
BF swords for none.
Nope. Well, we've seen lanes where like they're farming until like 5,000 gold, so maybe they'll just want to wait until they can just go buy an Infinity Edge and like a second item, or part of a second item. Oh. Watch trying to move in onto Eve. He saw him taking that ward. Goon coming up too, but they can't quite catch him. Nunu is quite annoying.
That is an understatement. Yep. He's dropping some wards in the red buff right now. Eve really wants to contest this red buff and see if he can pick up a steal. So he's going to take out the ward in the river just so they don't know where he's going. And what he's up to, OQ gets grabbed. Oh, wow.
I don't know why you would try to recall there. Oh, OQ. First blood goes to Wraith. Wow. OQ. OQ. That was it. That was our OQ moment, guys. It happened. It's happening.
Wow, it's great all in though from Samsung. Just waiting in the brush right there, and
I mean it's a really great
flashing
setup.
on top of him.
You know, I mean, you wait for your opponent to just start recalling him in the middle of lane, you know, in range of a hook.
Then you mess him up.
Yep. And you make him pay for that stupid move. OQ. Comes back with the BF sword and the Avarice blade. Looks like Fury just moving towards Infinity Edge as quickly as he can at this point.
Well, that pickaxe probably going to make a big difference in terms of his trades here. So Fury, this bottom lane has been a little back and forth so far this game. I like what we've seen, like the aggression. It's the matchup that we really wanted to see tonight.
I just don't know what Duke was thinking. I want to go and see that lane like before that happened. Try to figure out why he decided he was safe.
He may have thought they had already recalled if they were just hiding in that brush for long enough.
Well, Fury was just in lane farming. He might not have seen Wraith. He might not have known he came back to lane, maybe? I guess there's that. Still.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's always been something that I felt like Korean players have always done, is recalled in very dangerous spots. Oh, they're going to bring in their jungler. Pure having to flash away from that one. That's scary Nunu flying in. Got to worry about that flash snowball, guys. The ganks are real.
I don't know why Eve was the one who took that lantern.
I don't know either.
Fury didn't have his ult up, didn't have any way to close that gap. It's just this flying Nunu coming at you to the flash flame. I mean, they traded flash for flash. I guess that's good.
It's all about sending a message, you know? It's about being annoying with that Nunu. Oh, meanwhile, Fury taking a lot of damage. Couldn't quite find the opportunity, though. Maybe if Pure had used his ult, that might have worked out.
Oh, yeah, they may have just caught him with a hook right there.
Yeah, they did. Well, Watch occupying Eve here. But that means that Samsung knows that Watch is there, so they're going to play a little bit more safely around this turret. Are we going to see the dive? Goong's starting to motion down as well, too, but Crown followed.
Yeah, you can't dive this right now. There's a Nunu right here with his ultimate up, absolute zero. We'll stuff that very easily. Goong's just going to find some solace and taking out a ward instead.
There's absolutely zero chance that would have worked.
Good joke.
Yeah. Wow.
Now they should use this opportunity to go for the dragon right now. As NaJin is recalling, they can push up this mid lane, or they should be able to, and Eve is on that bottom side with a Nunu. There is an absolutely free dragon.
Well, not anymore. It's too late.
You're right. It is too late now.
The excitement is palpable. NaJin, though, they're going to grab a dragon.
Like, NaJin decides they want the free dragon instead, using the recall from Samsung.
This is still here, so I guess we'll take it. Thanks.
questionable from Samsung. But that'll be absolutely uncontested in favor of NaJin, even though Samsung has that better Dragon presence at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Samsung.
Where it's like, wait a minute, I don't hear the Dragon in this pit anymore. What? Wonder. Nah.
No, they know it's gone down. So Fury wanted to go back. I mean, all he got was an Avarice Blade right there. Not a lot of benefit for that recall. Yeah, he can start stacking it up just a little bit sooner, but it's just not going to make the world's biggest difference.
Avarice Blade, making the world's biggest difference.
Well, it does if you can farm it up for 50 minutes. That makes a really big difference.
Until then, not the world's biggest difference.
Well, now we don't get to see any action for the next few minutes, Doa.
Nope. Nunubad's totally owning that Rift Sculler. Oh, man. Oh, don't walk off the screen. Oh,
the only exciting thing that could have happened right there was a dragon fight. So now we're just going to have to wait till after 20 minutes to see a kill.
Yeah, quite possible. You never know, though, when one team is going to decide to just do a huge tower dive.
Wow, that's a lot of wards to help out Crown in this mid lane. They've been warding so heavily. Pink wards on either side for Crown.
It's good, though.
And the deep wards in as well. Crown just wanting to be very aggressive, and he's taken a 20 CS advantage out of the vision that he's managed to get in this mid lane. Eve just continuing to roll through his jungle, clearing out wards for Fury, making sure that Watch can't do much of anything right here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Goong performs in team fights. If he's able to have a little bit better game on this Cassiopeia. Well, he was okay last time. Will he be good this time?
There are so many zones coming in from Samsung that it may be pretty difficult for him to find an optimal position to deal damage from.
I mean, I said it in picks and bans. I would like to see the Zed again. I feel like it would have worked okay. Ultimate onto Fury here as Watch tries to come in from the side. He's going to take the Lantern right onto him, but there's the box. They're going to slow him down enough. Oh, but Goong comes in. Can they make something happen? Watch has to flash away. Gets out of the Absolute Zero, but the Ignite is not quite enough, but the flash from Crown will pick up that kill, and now NaJin on the run. Samsung, they get the snowball onto Pure, but OQ fading away with that culling. It's not going to save his support, though. Double kill for Crown.
And Kuve just tying up Duke at the top side. Can he get the solo kill right now? No, not going to be enough damage. Duke does have a little bit of MR.
Yeah.
And will escape. So, wow, great hook from Wraith, and then the roam from Crown as well, using that ghost to get down into the lane and get the man advantage right there, while Kuve and Duke, neither of them teleporting because they were tied up in the top side.
Yeah, NaJin started that fight. They thought they had a pick on the Fury, and it turned around against him in a pretty big way.
Not really a need to make the big play right there when you have the better scaling composition, when you can just farm that out. You got the first dragon. You're in a wonderful position.
I think it's a situation where Pure and OQ's style can kind of work against them. You know, sometimes you can be a little bit overly aggressive.
Did they get ants in their pants?
I think they got a bit bored, yep. Got a bit antsy. Thought they had to make a play.
Well, good response from Samsung in the end, and that's a result of some very patient ward clearing and vision control by Eve's Nunu in this game. Wraith now popping through, has a blood boil on him, but Pure will just secure himself to the wall and yank himself away.
As you do.
I do that on a daily basis.
Do you really?
I just grappling hook my way around my apartment.
Sweet. Kind of like Attack on Titan with the 3D maneuver gear. I could see that.
I wish. That would be fun.
That'd be awesome. Well, turret goes to Samsung. As soon as they decide to take it, there we go. One auto will do the trick. And so Samsung with a nice, solid lead early on in this game. NaJin's going to really need to kind of get it a bit more together if they want to take this game and get the 2-0.
Yeah, that's a very good lead at this stage of the game, especially considering that they are going to be able to pretty effectively force out the next dragon as long as they get the positioning. And the wards are really going down well for them with Eve and that early Sightstone this game, as we often see on these Nunus. They're trying to put that pressure down. Now they've got the bottom tier 1 turret, turn it into that tier 2 as quickly as possible, or at least just push up the ward line enough that they can safely do this dragon.
Well, they're going to try to do the blue buff first here. Duke waiting to see if he's going to need to teleport in. Are we going to see a bit of a fight here? There's a teleport coming in from Duke. NaJin trying to catch him. They get Crown with the ultimate, but where's the follow-up? Kube coming from behind with his own teleport here. Hook misses, and everybody just kind of backing off. A couple missed skill shots, and nobody really wants to fight anything. Oh, Eve coming in, and did he get the blue? I believe he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Hard to not have an objective stolen by Nunu.
Well, he got it with about 30 HP left, so it was pretty darn close. Samsung sends Kuve into the mid lane just to go ahead and take it out, and that engaged by NaJin really not working right there. They're going to reallocate some players up into the top side of the map to at least take a dragon for it, knowing that they don't have the vision right now to deal with this dragon, so that'll mean that
Take a
Duke,
top turret anyway.
Yeah, just try and take a top turret. But
well,
they don't have anybody in the mid lane. They are walking the very long way. And that was while Watch was taking the Scuttle Crab in the top side. So kind of awkward defense right there. They left their mid turret totally undefended. But with this Sheen, Duke will get the top tower. But that's a pretty bad trade right there for NaJin.
Yeah, NaJin's looking a little bit lost here in game number 2. They know they need to farm. They know they need to play for the late game, but they just don't seem to know how to, hold on.
Well,
what they have right now.
We talked about this. NaJin very good in the laning phase. When it comes to actually making decisions on the map, while they looked very strong last game, it was closing out the lead where they looked strong. This game, they are not as on point in terms of where to be on the map, how to and when to contest these objectives. That was a pretty bad teleport from Duke into the fight that didn't have much of an effect besides blowing Fury's ult.
That's about it. Well, they want to put a little bit more pressure on, and we'll see if they can get this bottom turret. I suppose one way to gain a little bit of traction is to see if they can take an outer turret or two.
You're not going to be able to compete with a Static Shiv Sivir in terms of wave clear. You're going to have a very hard time actually pushing that through. Now this tower just getting slowly poked down by the minions is not going to go down on this wave. However, Kuve not wanting to push too far up there without a turret of his own to defend him. Still 2-1 for Samsung. And that tier now fully stacked up for Goong, starting to get a bit dangerous on this Cassiopeia.
Yeah, he's got that Abyssal Scepter too, which is going to be really nice against Victor.
Yeah, the Trinity Force is done now, so NaJin has a lot of the items that they need.
Yeah, now's the time to make something happen.
Fury swapping into the last lane and has a tower in it, while Crown, there's just a wave clear right there. He's got the Echo. That is all too easy for him to take out a wave.
Oh, yeah. Interesting build by Crown. A lot of straight up AP. And that good poke. Looks like this turret's going to go down.
They're back off immediately. They're very scared. So many people leaving the mid lane right there, and they don't have to get it on this wave. Kuve is going to draw someone into that bottom side eventually, and it has such low HP, that top lane turret, to take one auto, and they know they're going to get it eventually. So good patience there from Samsung.
Yep, there it goes. So they have all 3 outer turrets done now. Crown coming down. There's a flash. Wow, and they just annihilate OQ. Man, Crown was ready for that one. Twist advance into Flash Chaos Storm.
I really like how confident Crown is when he's going in to get these kills.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to use summoners. He will get that kill. Kuve also, W under the turret. Great timing, great synergy on that gank to know exactly where Crown was, and the fact that they could 100-0 OQ like that.
Yeah, after game 1 win, NaJin just kind of seems to be rolling over and dying here in game number 2. Not really putting up much of a resistance to anything.
That's a big, big lead. They get another turret.
It's a huge lead.
Out of that, 4 for 0 on turrets, 4 for 0 on kills, 4 for 1 on turrets so far. Samsung slowing down the pace of the game, not going for that big reckless dive like they tried last time, not dying at level 1 and feeding Goong a kill, and now they're in prime position to take this one home. And they continue to make plays on the turrets, too, getting 2 towers on opposite sides of the map.
Well, hook on the Eve, but he just takes the Lantern out. So, no problems at all for Samsung there. Oh, Pierce still coming back in. Now, we still haven't seen like a big team fight. We might see it here. Eve taking a lot of damage and Watch trying to come in from the side. Eve still getting poisoned. Oh, Duke not able to find the angle, though.
It's just you can't run straight at this Samsung composition. We talked about that during Champion Select. Duke has to find a flank. He's the only form of engage they have. If he doesn't get a flank and disrupt the backline, there's nothing they can do. And every single time we've seen Duke, that burst teleport around the Dragon Pit just wasn't, the flank wasn't there. And that's also on his team. They have to get enough wards in that he has an opportunity to make that play. Because if you don't get the flank, they are perfectly capable of kiting NaJin's composition. That's just a thing that's going to happen. Even if Pure manages to land his ult, the time that it takes to travel will let someone walk backwards, especially with that Sivir. And there's a TP for no reason.
For the ward. You got the ward. And it looks like they're going to get the bottom turret at least, but that teleport was not worth it. Oh, wow. Duke just taking so much damage. He's got no armor. And this Sivir's tearing him apart. Here comes Kuve from behind. Duke may have to just ult over the wall to get away. No, he flees into river, and he's going to be able to make it out. But, yeah, kind of a botched teleport by Duke. Not able to get anything out of that, not even the turret.
And this is one of NaJin's problems, is that their communication really just is so awkward at times.
Yeah. And
it seems like no one is on the same page in terms of their comms and in terms of the plays that are being made or have to be made to win the game.
Well, Duke has to go up to top lane, but then now he can't deal with what's going on in mid. It's a little bit rough.
That tower getting very low, and Samsung will be able to easily fall back. Again, no wards in the bottom side. The only thing Duke can do right now is split push.
Yep. Oh, Samsung trying to be a bit tricky.
They want OQ.
They do. They want him dead. And will they get him? Oh, OQ spots him.
Arden Blaze in the brush. He did suspect that something was up.
Yep.
They do have some wards in the brush right there, so they knew they weren't a dragon.
Yeah.
Smart play by OQ, just to double check on that warding or on that location.
Yep,
and doesn't get picked off. Duke now coming in, wants to maybe make a play right here. He doesn't have Smite though.
Yeah, box used just to zone out Duke, and they take that Dragon lead easily. And no minion wave really for NaJin to make them pay for this. With the turret, they're going to go in anyway. There's the flash stun on the Fury. Fury getting very low. OQ manages to get a kill here. This could be where NaJin turns around. We'll see. No, now with Duke ulting out of the fight. Crown starting to do a lot of damage. There's a double kill for him. And this may be a little bit out of reach already for NaJin.
And they didn't push the wave far enough into the top lane either. It just reversed on the tower without doing much damage at the tier 2. So NaJin not even taking as much advantage out of that as they could have.
Nope. Oh, OQ may be able to get a kill on the Wraith here. No, not quite.
And they get Fury, and that's great. Yeah. But at the same time, they get caught in a choke point in the Chaos Storm and taking multiple death rays right there, where Crown gets even more fed than he was. They're going to go.
Whoa.
Nice kill.
Yeah, they got him. And now Goong wants to get another one. He may get onto Wraith. Double kill actually end up going to OQ. Goong stays alive just barely. So there we go. Nice play for NaJin. 2 kills in a turret. Just barely staying in this one, but I mean barely.
That was a great punishment, though, for sticking around too long. You get the shutdown gold onto OQ, who's your most immediate threat in terms of carry potential, and then you get the tower, so he gets some gold from that as well. Very important set of kills, and Duke also going to get a turret in the bottom side, so all of a sudden this gold gap only within 4K.
Yeah.
There's still the problem of how does NaJin initiate in this composition. So I still think it's going to be a bit of a long shot for them to win this game, but perhaps they can do it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we talked about the scaling earlier. I mean, Cassiopeia, Lucian, those are champions that are going to do a ton of damage in the late game.
Yeah, the problem is that they're never going to get in range to do their damage. That's the real issue. It is so contingent on Hecarim's positioning in the fight because he has to force someone forward. They don't have another form of reliable primary engage. Maybe a hook from Nautilus, but that's not, I wouldn't call that reliable, especially when you have so many speed boosts coming out of the Samsung Galaxy composition.
Well, Duke has come through for this team many times
go.
in the past. We'll see if he can do it now. They're trying to chase down Goon, getting slowed up a little bit. Kuve can't quite catch him with the Righteous Glory.
Well, they push him out of the mid lane, though, right as the wave is coming up. They don't get a kill, but maybe they can get some damage down. Everyone on NaJin scrambling to reach the turret in time to defend, and they will. Not too much investment there.
They managed to
from
pull Duke out
Samsung.
of top lane, too. And so that push, that split push that may have continued in top is stopped for now. So by running up the mid lane like that, they take the pressure off the top lane, too, I suppose.
Yeah, they do. At least for the moment, until the TP comes back up for Duke in this game, which won't be too long from now.
Very soon. Ooh, Wraith nearly caught Watch there. Well, NaJin barely holding on still. Well, one good team fight for Samsung, and it could be pretty over. Oh, Duke getting a bit aggressive there, but not finding anyone to ult onto or anything like that. Samsung moving through a pretty big choke. NaJin could try to come in. Oh, they catch Kuve just off on his own completely. Easy pick for NaJin. Kuve way out of position there, and now NaJin can press his advantage. Watch coming in, yep.
Yeah. He gets the chilling spike, but that's it. But can they take a tower off of this? Will he be bold enough to go for a Baron? Perhaps. There's pings onto the Baron right now. Well, there is a ward in that brush.
They can do it pretty quickly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they're just going to go for it. I mean, they have the Cassiopeia right here.
Yeah,
it's going to be 22 seconds before Kuve can come off. That may have been the critical pick that they needed. Man, Kuve way out of position.
Ult on to Eve. Pure just trying to slow them down. They get the Baron. They're going to turn on this right now. Pure very low. And the flash. Wow, Fury. He hit the Scuttle Crab instead of Pure, and Pure makes it out.
Yeah,
Oops.
Pure also getting the summoner heal from OQ to help stay alive. And that pick was so crucial. It was a good decision from NaJin just to go all in on that to try and get back into the game, and they managed to do it, pulling within 2K gold. Samsung not going to let them do much with this Baron because they have prepped those side waves very well after it goes down. So a lot of that Baron is going to be wasted just trying to push up very slowly.
Well, NaJin at least showing that they're not afraid to take risks to try to get back in the game, and at this point, you really do need to.
Oh, absolutely. And
yep. Well, Dragon up in a minute, too, so NaJin will still have the Baron buff when Dragon is up. That might help.
Yeah, I saw that split in communication, though. Kuve was kind of in the mid lane while his team was attempting to steal the blue buff right there. They do have to stay together. That Cassiopeia and Lucian's single target damage can be pretty damn high, especially for Kuve. Who has that Righteous Glory, but only now starting to build more into that armor and MR. The lack of MR was really...
So there are enough wards in NaJin's jungle right now that they can kind of keep an eye more or less on what Samsung is doing. Duke is putting together a pretty effective split push in the top lane. Yeah, they're going to send Kuve back to deal with that, it looks like.
What's Samsung doing? They're like walking over to the Dragon, but they're not respecting the fact that these waves are getting pushed up with the Baron buff before that Dragon goes down. They can afford to give up a Dragon right now. They don't have to lose turrets in recompense.
Samsung's looking a little bit intimidated right now after losing that Baron, losing that fight. Dragon is up, and Samsung, can they stop NaJin from doing it?
Man, Samsung should just push out the waves right now and run out the rest of this Baron timer and let them have the Dragon. Screw the Dragon. It doesn't really matter.
Fury doesn't have flash either right now, so here comes the teleport. Samsung wants to try. NaJin backing out for just a moment. Dragon still goes to NaJin. They're going to go in onto Wraith. It looks like Goon walks into the box.
Here we
Gets
go.
an okay ult, and here we go. Duke coming in from behind. That's right. Fury still in an okay spot, though. Goon looking for an opportunity to do that consistent damage. Eve hits him with a snowball. It gets taken out. Double kill for Goon. He got a nice ult at the beginning of that fight. Watch comes in with a knock-up on the Crown. The damage still alive for Samsung right now. They need to be so careful. NaJin a little bit low health.
And they opted into that fight.
Kuve. Kuve ults immediately. Goon fragile, but doing the damage. Needs to be careful. One more to Kuve, and Goon gets 3 kills so far this fight. I'd be very careful here. Yeah, and that's why. You've still got Fury and Crown to deal with. I think if you're NaJin, you just back off and be happy about what you were able to get there.
Fury and the rest of Samsung opted into that fight at Dragon against a Baron-empowered enemy. Duke finds a giant minion wave in the bottom side and takes this turret. All Samsung had to do was just try and save their towers. They lost a tier 2 in the top side also. Now look at this. Watch gets the smite down, and here's the engage. Pure is up first, and
wow,
a really good ultimate and a combo from Duke right there to disrupt the backline. Everyone getting CC'd in some form from NaJin at the beginning of that fight. Now a double kill for Goong.
Samsung
rolls through, and watch with the flash on Burrow. They try and get the kill on the Crown. Duke gonna wrap around the side, barely dodge that death ray, and then Pure not done yet, wants to get that hook, and there we go. They're moving forward, and Fury picks up Pure, but in the end, Goong lands his third kill of the fight.
Man, Crown was extremely lucky that he didn't just get completely blown up at the beginning of that. It was very, very close. If Crown had gone down, I think that would have been a lot more kills for NaJin. Overall, so kiting was pretty good. So, up to 7.
And you can see that difficulty of engage. NaJin was trying to chase down the stragglers, but had some trouble. Fury even trading a kill during the chase. So NaJin got everything they wanted, just walking straight into the Dragon Pit while they had a Baron buff on, and Duke was able to make the home guard engage work around the side off of the petrifying gaze from Goong. It couldn't have gone better for NaJin when Samsung again just had to play passively and trust in the fact that they will be able to kite this composition. This is so kiteable.
Well, the game about as dead even as it can get. Same kills, same dragons, same turrets, and pretty much same gold for these teams right now. So it is as even can be at the moment. It's just a matter of NaJin just getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah. This is, if they can actually get that damage down, that's the question. Are they going to get another fight? They have to force Samsung to move into them at objectives. If Samsung is smart, they will stand on the outside and just poke with Death Ray if another Baron or Dragon comes up, and Boomerang Blade, and never commit to that engagement.
Well, NaJin already trying to set up for this next Baron in about a minute and a half, getting some vision near the pit. Duke's still split pushing down at the bottom. He doesn't have his teleport at the moment, but he can still put some pressure on.
Yeah, he'll have that teleport up about the same time that the Baron is up for grabs. So in the meantime, just farming up, keeping Kuve occupied in the bottom side for as long as he can. Goong starting to move through these side waves, prep them for the Baron. And that means that someone from Samsung is going to have to respond to this. You can see Okyu just hanging back, ready to catch that wave and push it out immediately. So NaJin doing a better job of applying the heat right now around this Baron. Already have it pink ward. So this is a really good situation for NaJin.
Yep. Might end up being a 4v4. No, Duke turning around now and getting ready. Baron in 30, Dragon in a minute 30.
Yeah, they might as well. If you're NaJin right now, you've prepped this so well that you might as well just make an attempt here, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can
at
always
the Baron
and
see if you can get that great engage again, because Samsung doesn't seem to know that they don't have to all in.
Very true. NaJin about ready. They could set up a pick here, too. No vision at all for Samsung around that Baron. It's going to be so dangerous for them to walk into that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, they are. And it's going to go down really fast yet again. Look at that. They're going to get this one cleanly. No issues at all for NaJin taking this Baron. And Samsung trying to catch up. Uh-oh. Eve a little bit caught here. Ah, they can't quite get him.
No, they can't engage. They cannot engage with this comp.
It was very close. Well, I mean, it almost was what you talked about earlier, right? Samsung almost came right to them.
Yep. But at the end, when they want to actually go in here, they have such a hard time forcing the fight. But Duke again back to the split push. And this is really a failure of Samsung's to adapt in this game, to realize what the win conditions of their composition are against the enemy, and to kind of give NaJin everything they want. When they had such a strong start to this game and such a huge gold lead, it was pretty easy, I feel, for them to actually turn this into a win, but they've let NaJin get their foot back in the door and get a couple of Barons back-to-back.
Right. And I mean, in the end, I feel like this is just, we're seeing, you know, the more veteran team playing against the team with a little bit less experience overall. And NaJin just making the better decisions in the end, and it looks like they're going to be able to grab this Dragon too. Yeah, no real opposition anywhere nearby for Samsung, so 2 Barons. Now they're going to be a Dragon ahead as well too.
Well, it's just Samsung keeps trying to play NaJin's game. Yeah. They let themselves be sucked into NaJin's strategy style instead of just saying, screw that Dragon. Who cares about that Dragon? We already have 2. It's 2-1. Let's just go for something else. Let's make sure we don't lose any other objectives and just poke them out at any opportunity that we have for subsequent objectives when you don't have a Baron buff on you. So it's frustrating to see because NaJin has done a great job of controlling the tempo, but Samsung has just been marching to the beat of their drum.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is coming from Samsung with a, I believe it was around 7,000 gold lead earlier in this game. A massive lead.
It's a big comeback for NaJin, especially with the composition that I don't really think has many advantages over what Samsung is fighting them with.
And getting this most recent Dragon, too, as we see Duke take out this bottom tier 2, is that now you've got that movement speed, right? So where you've been having trouble with the engages all game, now you've got one more little thing that might help you just barely pull it off.
Well, another thing NaJin, I shouldn't say the one thing, the other thing NaJin's been doing very well is Duke split pushing. Yeah. Has been really working for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Duke has been just single-handedly crushing towers, as we see in this bottom side, over and over and over again, making it so difficult for Samsung to group up. And they're just making better rotations, better calls on the map right now.
Culling used, doesn't do a ton of damage, but that turret certainly taking some hits. So at this point, we've got an 11,000 gold swing in favor of NaJin, going from about 7K down to 4K ahead. Probably one of the biggest gold swings I think we've seen so far this season. And Duke not done with that split pushing anytime soon. They're going to need more than Kube, perhaps. Yeah, so Baron buff, I believe, is gone. Yeah, gone now for NaJin, so they need to back off, play it a bit more safe. Kind of wait for this next Dragon, I suppose.
Well, now the Dragon count definitely in their favor, so they can play a very patient game, and if they're lucky, Samsung will just walk into them again, and they'll get the kind of fight they want.
Well, Samsung has looked a bit panicky over the last 10 minutes or so.
Well, they feel like they need to fight everything.
Yeah. And that reminds me of Samsung last season. Maybe Anarchy this season.
I feel like NaJin is the great divide. It's like they're good enough to beat kind of less. They're a blunt instrument. They're good enough to beat less coordinated teams, not necessarily through grace, but just through outplaying them on a singular basis.
They just kind of bludgeoned them.
On a singular basis. Last game, I think, was unusually elegant for them in the way they closed it out. I thought it was very good, but this game is really much more the NaJin we've come to routinely see this season, which is, well, we're very reliant on individual players. When it comes to shot calling, we can do an okay job at it, but otherwise, we just beat you to death with a stick. And then when someone comes into the fight who's better at shot calling and can also match up to them in terms of individual skill, they tend to crumble pretty quickly, like we saw against SK Telecom.
Yeah. NaJin. More frustrating than CJ.
CJ's having a pretty good season so far. So
yeah, I'm talking about the historically over the lifetime of CJ teams. Yeah, and like we mentioned a little bit earlier, it'd be unlikely for NaJin to make it to Worlds this year, but it'd be still a bit surprising because they've been to, you know, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4.
Watch has been to them all, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. He's got 3 Worlds under his belt. No wins, but he's been there.
He got to the semifinals one year. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's almost the finals.
Well,
if it weren't for those much better teams, he would have made it.
You know what's a sad fact?
What's that?
Kakao has never been to Worlds, but Watch has been 3 times.
No kidding. Yeah, Insec has been to more worlds than Kakao. How about that?
Insec in his prime was quite good.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
That was like around the time when Corn Salad was playing Master Yi in the mid lane.
Kakao was in back-to-back summer finals, won one, lost one, but still never made it to Worlds.
Yeah, so close, but yet so far.
It's okay. He'll probably make it this year.
Yeah, it's. I would say it's pretty likely this time around. He'll get there from the LPL, unless something goes drastically wrong.
No, IG's looking pretty good. So
yeah. Oh, Fury spotted. And now we come to it, the great battle of our age. 30 seconds till Baron, 35 seconds till Dragon.
who will you go for? Which objective?
Baron, no. Dragon, no. I just can't decide. They both look so good.
Nope, they're going to do them both at the
Red
same
buff.
time. OQ actually has a black cleaver this game.
Wow.
That's actually going to be very helpful for Duke as well.
Yeah.
It's not a bad item.
And Rek'Sai a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean, Rek'Sai still does decent base damage, even without a lot of damage items. So.
Also, that CDR illusion just can give you so much damage. The more times you can use your passive, the better.
Yeah.
All right.
Whoop.
So wards coming in from Samsung as they try and chase NaJin off the Baron. Everything is live now.
That's right. And so Samsung saying, we don't even want to fight you with the objectives. We just want to go for the turret. They know that NaJin has a hard time engaging, but again, you know, is Samsung coming to them?
Okay. Samsung wants to get the positioning right now. They've been trying to set up a pick for a long time. Eve going to hide in a brush. Taking a look at these minion waves, someone's going to have to go bottom right now. It shouldn't be too big of an issue.
You're just not going to be able to hide effectively against a Rek'Sai.
Nope.
You know, you can't get there soon enough that everyone can stand still and avoid the Tremor Sense. You're going to see someone wandering into that brush.
They're going to do it. Oh, okay.
Wow. All right, here we go. Get ready for, I was going to say, get ready for the world's biggest Cassie build. But, oh, they're going in. All right, could be in a little bit of trouble here. Goong already taking some damage. Gets a big three-man ult, though. And NaJin, can they follow it up? Can the damage happen? Goong comes back, and yeah, NaJin's going to take this fight so easy. There's the ace. Perfect ace. And that is going to be it with 70-second death timers. The game is going to end, and NaJin will get that 2-0. Not even bothering with the Baron. You don't need it.
And again, Goog coming in with the ghost there. Didn't even have to flash to get that big ult. Samsung just not doing a good job of kiting. They kind of went toe-to-toe right there instead of just peeling back.
Yeah, well,
Duke able to get into the back line way too easily. Too easily.
Oh, another huge three-man ult by Goong. Immediately Zhonya stays alive, and the rest of the team cleans up. That's a 2-0 for NaJin at the